Next on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, we take a look back at a very eventful WWE Raw from this past Monday night, main event from Wednesday, and SmackDown from last night. Also going to have Be the Booker for TNA Lockdown, a special interview with Impact Wrestling star Christopher Daniels, the Event Center, and Diamond of the Ring. All of that right here, right now on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time Saturday night. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Octavius, the alleged backyard one-time Knockouts Divas, straight-edge hardcore Hall of Famer, Hero, on a Saturday, March 9, 2013. What a week it's been in professional wrestling. Let's kick it off, David Hero, with this week's WWE Report. As you know, WWE Raw this past Monday night went old school. And one question that we need to ask is, should they have gone old school? A lot happened, including two big matchups made for WrestleMania, at least one for sure, the other pretty much a done deal. But a lot of legends back on Raw Monday night. And David Harrell, you've said that you feel some of those legends were underutilized or even misused.
Well, they were absolutely misused. I mean, how do you bring out the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Sergeant Slaughter, you know, America's first G.I. Joe.
American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Do you know who's going to be in this very city, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, tomorrow evening?
Of course I do.
The Prodigy.
Yeah, Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez are
the blue chipper, the next big thing in professional wrestling, Cody Rhodes, going to be at the Bradley Center.
I hear that, yes.
Big WWE SmackDown live event.
Yes. But and you have Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you have Mean Gene Okerlund, and you have the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and they're all there, and they're all part of old school Raw. But they're not celebrated. You have Jack Swagger beat down 3 Hall of Famers. You have Mean Gene pretty much just running the app behind the scenes.
And celebrating Mae Young's birthday.
Right, but that was a 90-second spot before CM Punk, of all people, have to interrupt it. Correct?
So I don't hate CM Punk, so
no,
it didn't bother me as much
it's
as
fine.
it does
But for me, the highlight of old school was seeing the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy. Of course, they had to eliminate the A double cricket letter part of the whole show. You know, there is way too much stuff on this desk.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, how can we work in these conditions?
I'm fine.
We got the Hammer over here.
Greg?
You know, yeah, and then, you got Santa Claus popping up.
Oh, I don't know why you keep all that stuff. It's
Why don't you
March.
take down all the Christmas decorations? This is now, what, 3 months later?
I want Christmas to come every month.
Well, of course you do, but we need to organize.
Carry on. We're in the middle of a segment here.
We have a big guest coming in.
We do.
We do.
Next
Big Sexy,
week.
yes.
We have a guest tonight as well, Christopher Daniels from TNA.
Do. But, for me, I think it's a great concept. I think they could have celebrated the old school guys but with the Hall of Fame coming up, maybe they feel it's not that important. I like the idea of old school Raw because it fits in between the month-and-a-half layoff in between pay-per-views for a special event. And people tuned in to see The Undertaker.
But what you got to think about, and we'll talk about The Undertaker more in a minute, is it's always so much fun. It's always so much fun to just look at the old school.
But was it fun?
For me, it was.
What fun did you get out of it?
Just the tributes or the little bit of.
What was the tribute?
We had the old look, the new look, a blending of looks from Raw over the years. Mean Gene Okerlund with the intro.
There's a ranger on the desk.
I enjoyed the look. I thought it was fun. It was old school. Was it old school enough? No, but it's just the sirens, Dave. Come on. Remember when you thought Raw was... Remember when you were a fan and you actually enjoyed it?
I still am a fan of Monday Night Raw.
Couldn't tell?
I don't like how they use the legends.
Big things happened on Raw this past Monday night, though,
including... How can you let Jack Swagger beat up Hacksaw Jim Duggan with his own 2x4? How?
The return of The Undertaker. It kicked off the broadcast. We would find out that 4 men would battle to determine who would face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. A lot of questions answered. Those 4 men, Randy Orton, The Big Show, Sheamus, and CM Punk. Ultimately, it would be CM Punk winning that matchup. And again, in case you have not yet heard, folks, mark these words. CM Punk will defeat, via pinfall, center of the ring at WrestleMania 29.
Oh my God.
The Undertaker.
Hey, easy.
20-1.
I will say
Lead at, player.
I will say this: the fatal four-way match was the best way to get CM Punk put in that position to challenge the Undertaker. Because let's face it, he's lost to The Rock not once, but twice. He lost to John Cena last week. He had no steam at all going into challenging the Undertaker. But to defeat three of some of the biggest names on the Raw and SmackDown brand, being Sheamus, Randy Orton, and Big Show, definitely catapults CM Punk back to the top of the list and somewhat credible contender to chase after Undertaker's streak.
20-1.
You know, if that happens, you should have to grow hair. But it's not going to happen.
At the end of the day, what makes more sense 5 years from now? That The Undertaker, who ain't around no more, won 21 matches at WrestleMania, or the fact that he did 20 years straight winning and then lost to that one guy?
It was 20 WrestleManias.
Then went to that one guy who beat him. So 20-1. The story was told already this year. 20-0, 19-0, whatever it is, the DVD that was released.
I don't believe
CM Punk will defeat
that
The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Thinks
Mark it.
CM Punk
Check it. Bet on
is
it.
at that
Book
level.
on it. Call Vegas. Call your bookie. Go to the horse track. Go to the dog track. This is gospel, folks. CM Punk will win at WrestleMania. If you don't like it, as Bret Hart said on Raw in 1997, 2 words. We'll leave it at that. Some other matches were teased, though, David Hero. First of which being a challenge from Triple H. Triple H, who spoke out for the first time, gave his reasons as to why he came back last week and attacked Brock Lesnar. As we thought, unfinished business, and his father-in-law in Vince McMahon. Well, Triple H wants Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania this Monday night on Raw. We find out Brock Lesnar's answer.
Well, yeah, of course Brock Lesnar's not going to accept the challenge right away. He has nothing to prove. He already beat Triple H at SummerSlam. It's just another scenario where, hey, let's get Triple H back in a main event match at WrestleMania, the biggest show of them all. People complain that Rock is back. No one's complaining that Triple H is back.
You're the only one still talking about that. You made that point with Jericho. You made that point now with Triple H.
I forgot about, was Jericho on Raw?
He's busy.
What's he doing?
Don't worry about it. He just wasn't there. See, you didn't notice. So I can't wait till Kevin Nash is sitting here at this desk next week.
Well, you better get this all cleaned up. This is a
2
mess.
matches teased. Mark Henry versus Ryback at WrestleMania. Your initial thoughts?
I love it.
Next match teased, The
Whoa,
Shield.
You don't want to know why I love it?
We don't have time to find out why you love it. And quite frankly, I don't think they really care. The Shield, probably going to be taking on Randy Orton, The Big Show, and Sheamus at WrestleMania.
That's going to be one big 6-man.
Big.
And the interesting thing is going to be, how can The Big Show coexist with Sheamus and Randy Orton? How can Sheamus coexist with Randy Orton and Randy Orton coexist with Randy Orton and Big Show and Sheamus? It's going to be a mess. And this is the kind of match that the Shield can, if they can pull off the victory, which I think they can, where they can beat those 3 main event stars.
Noise up there.
And then they all splinter off into, different feuds. I think it'll be fantastic.
The Rock and John Cena had a major confrontation on this past Monday's Raw. Things got real fast. There was no funny ha-ha this week, David Hero.
No, not at all. And it's good because we had funny ha-ha all last year. I want to see The Rock and John Cena fight. I want to see it get physical. I don't want to hear about Fruity Pebbles. I don't want to hear about strudel. None of that kind of stuff. I just want to see the 2 greatest athletes on the Raw brand, the 2 biggest stars, I should say, on the Raw brand.
Because we're not talking about Ziggler and Rhodes. They're the best athletes on the roster.
You think so?
Arguably.
More so than Kofi Kingston?
Kofi Kingston's a great athlete.
More so than Antonio Cesaro?
Cesaro's a great athlete.
Okay.
Speaking of Cesaro, he didn't do so well on this past Wednesday's main event. He lost again, David Hero.
Non-title matches, they don't mean anything.
Are there too many losses for Cesaro?
Yes, absolutely. But until he loses the gold or the bronze or whatever it is right now, it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Speaking more about main event on the Ion Network, Randy Orton and Wade Barrett had a tremendous wrestling matchup. Randy Orton gets the win over the Intercontinental Champion.
And that's another guy, free-falling. He is the Intercontinental Champion. At one time, that belt meant something.
When Cody Rhodes had it.
Was with the U.S. Champion. That belt meant something. These guys are losing non-title matches after non-title matches. Wade Barrett and Cesaro are young future studs in this company and are being misused every week.
A little bit of misuse of the words of Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger last night on SmackDown by your boy Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez as they spoofed the YouTube videos of Coulter and Swagger.
And it was extremely entertaining to see ADR and Ricardo.
It was funny, haha.
They were funny, haha, or funny, jaja, however you want to say it.
Gabor?
Absolutely. You know what? It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a good feud. These two guys, Del Rio and Swagger, it may not look sexy, but they're two tremendous in-ring performers, and it's going to be a fantastic match.
How about that matchup between Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler?
I've seen it a million times.
Well, you never seen people getting water thrown on them.
Interesting.
Stop. That is this week's WWE report, ladies and gentlemen. Still to come, though, here on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime. We have an interview with Christopher Daniels from TNA Impact Wrestling. As you know, Lockdown this Sunday on pay-per-view. We've got the event center with Linda Kay. We've got the announcement of all the winners for last week's WWE ticket giveaway, the Diamond of the Ring, and much more. The Pro Wrestling Report Primetime continues next with this week's Diamond of the Ring.
Milwaukee, Milwaukee, Milwaukee. See all your favorite WWE superstars for the first time in 2013 on the road to WrestleMania. The World Heavyweight Champion and the world's largest athlete, Alberto Del Rio, and the Big Show collide for the World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match. Plus, Randy Orton, Team Hell No, and many more. It's WWE Live in Milwaukee, March 10th. Tickets available now. WWE, the best value in entertainment.
Hi, gang. Mean Gene Okerlund here on My 24, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report. All of the news about wrestling, not only here in Milwaukee, but throughout the world. Stay up to date. Join us every Saturday night.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. Got a call on the studio phone during that time out there, David Hero, about what you almost did.
I didn't almost do anything.
Big show continues, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up in just a few moments, Christopher Daniels from Impact Wrestling joins us via video on Skype. We're going to talk a little bit about Lockdown this Sunday and TNA coming to the Chicago area next Thursday night. But David Hero, before we do that, let's find out who this week's Diamond of the Ring is. Brought to you by Robert Hack Diamonds.
This week's Robert Hack Diamonds of the Ring. We're going to give it to two more diamonds again this week. Oh, you didn't know? Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, return to Monday Night Raw Old School to defeat the Carlitos, Epico and Primo, in a big match, setting up a match for possibly Monday night with your boy, Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. But this week's Robert Hack Diamonds of the Ring, the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy.
That match will happen Monday night on Raw. Cody and Damian will dominate, destroy, and send Road Dogg and Billy Gunn packing.
Really? Yeah. Okay. You need to get out of the prediction business, bro.
Let's get out of the diamond. This has to go.
You know what?
We don't have time for
Look
this.
at this. Where does this come from?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it now to an interview we recorded earlier today with Christopher Daniels. Coming out of Diamond of the Ring, David Hero, coming up this Sunday night. It's TNA Lockdown on pay-per-view. Joining us right now is a man who will be participating in that huge event in San Antonio, Texas, from TNA Impact Wrestling, Christopher Daniels. Christopher Daniels, welcome to the Pro Wrestling Report.
Thanks for having me this time, guys. Video's working, audio's working. I'm handsome. Yours just there. Let's do this.
It's almost like we're in your living room with you.
This is actually my garage. You can see my comic book collection behind me. I'm wearing my Marvel t-shirt. I've made mine Marvel. What about you?
You know what, Damon? That would make Christopher Daniels a super friend, if you will.
I don't think
I am
so.
a super friend. Everyone says I'm a super friend.
Well, coming up this Sunday, Lockdown, San Antonio, Texas, big three-way tag team matchup. The team of Aries and Bobby Roode, along with Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, going up against you and Kazarian. Going to be a big matchup at Lockdown on pay-per-view on Sunday. What are you going to do to make sure you win that matchup?
All I have to do is be me. And Frankie Kazarian has to be him because we are the best tag team in the biz in Ness. We are Bad Influence. We are the Best Coast Boogeymen. We are the Midnight Ramblers. We will be the next World Tag Team Champions of the world.
You know, a lot of people have talked about that bad influence, if you will, and the difference that we've seen both out of you and Kaz as of late in TNA Impact Wrestling, specifically the one finger that you choose to tape up each and every week that we see on Impact Wrestling. A little strategic placement there. But Impact Wrestling going through some changes as of late, and you guys leading the course in those changes, but behind the scenes as well. new pay-per-view strategy. Lockdown, one of only 4 pay-per-views that are going to be executed each and every year. Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas. What has Lockdown meant to you? You've had some great Lockdown moments in the past. Which one stands out most for Christopher Daniels?
Oh, wow. Man, I would have to say standing on the top of that cage 2 years ago, Immortal versus Fortune, and just looking down at Matt Hardy and Abyss and wondering if that was going to be the last time I dove off of anything. But as you can see, I made it safe, sound, and handsome, and I'm looking to make another great Lockdown moment, but this time it's going to be holding those belts high above my head.
Lockdown this Sunday on pay-per-view. You can order via your remote control, call your cable or satellite company, see Christopher Daniels in action, but you can also see Christopher Daniels in action next Thursday night as Impact goes on the road. The big, highly awaited event, Impact going on tour on the road. It's coming to the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. This is going to be huge for Impact Wrestling and a new era. But how does it feel to get out of that Impact zone in Orlando, Florida?
Well, the truth of the matter is this is not the first time we've taped television outside of the Impact Zone, but it is the beginning of doing it permanently from here on out. So it is a big deal. As much as we love the Impact Zone, they were great with us for 9 years. The truth of the matter is performing in front of pretty much the same crowd for 9 years straight, it has been a little stale. And so our experience has been when we have taped our television outside of the Impact Zone, there's been a little bit more energy, a little bit more fan interaction. And as we feed off of the energy of the crowd, obviously, there's been more energy coming out of us. So, I mean, it's definitely a big deal for us. All of us are looking forward to Chicago as the first, but not the last time that we're out of the Impact Zone and rocking Impact Live around the United States and maybe Canada.
Now, Chris, what does it feel like to be coming back to Chicago, a place where you spent many years on the Indies and Windy City Wrestling and pretty much where you started your career?
Well, the truth of the matter is I just got off the phone with Sam DeCero and Mike Gratchner, the guys that ran Windy City Wrestling yesterday. They didn't run it yesterday. That's when I talked to them. And they were telling me about how the scene is in Chicago now. There's a lot of independent stuff happening. There's a lot of love for professional wrestling in Chicago. So I know that the audience at the Sears Center is going to be live and in full effect, just like Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian are. So I'm looking forward to it. We haven't been in the Chicago area for a very long time, and I'm glad that Chicago is the first of the television taping / live events that we're going to be doing. So I think it's going to be a great atmosphere. And Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels have a special little surprise for the live audience, and we'll show it to you on the 14th. But you heard it here first.
A surprise. I like surprises.
We're full of surprises.
Well, maybe that surprise will lead you to Tag Team Championship Gold. That coming up this Sunday at Lockdown on pay-per-view, and then another big event Thursday night, Impact Wrestling Live, Sears Center, Chicago, ImpactWrestling.com for all the information on how you can attend both those events. We're going to be in Chicago at the Sears Center. Really looking forward to that big, huge event, Impact Live. Christopher Daniels, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck on Sunday, and we'll see you in Chicago on Thursday.
Luck is for suckers, and the French, I don't need it, but thanks anyway. We will see you guys on Sunday. We'll see you on Thursday, and you'll be watching me on television every week, and I'll have the gold around my waist. That's how you know it's me. I'm the bold, handsome one with the nice belt. Bam!
Christopher Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Never at a loss for words, am I? Ta-da!
Big thanks go out to Impact Wrestling and Christopher Daniels, one half of Bad Intentions, a great tag team over on Impact.
You know what? They are fantastic.
What are you doing?
It's been a long show.
We have a wellness policy.
Yeah, there's prescriptions for that. Listen, they are a throwback tag team.
Don't refill. First date of issuance, March 4th, 2011.
They are a throwback tag team. They are like the old Midnight Express with a lot more charisma. Reminds me of a more dynamic Condrey and Eaton.
Congratulations to everybody who won tickets to WWE at the Bradley Center tomorrow night in Milwaukee. We'll see you guys there. And also last night's GLCW 2 Suite. Damian Nelson and the Cos, we're here at Circle B Recreation in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. Cos, look at this shirt. That's fantastic. You're halfway there.
The left side's yours.
Well, yeah, thank you. It should be. We found out tonight at 2 Suite where big sexy Kevin Nash leaving the ring right now. We found out April 20th, GLCW returns to Circle B. Big show. already announced for that show. Robbie E. from Impact Wrestling, Mr. Anderson from Impact Wrestling, and Tommy Dreamer, a hardcore legend. That is a huge show. GLCW, Circle B Recreation. It's going to be on April 20th. What a night it's going to be. Kaz, you are the ring announcer extraordinaire, and that is going to be a great night of action here at GLCW. BlizzardBrawl.com. Don't miss out for the Kaz, Damian Nelson here at Circle B Recreation in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. You should get like a half jacket. Anyways, we're done with you. Hey, out of here, guy.
For 15 years, PWR has set the bar on pro wrestling reporting, revolutionizing the field with innovation and a clear commitment to you, the fans. In celebration of our 15-year anniversary, we're doing it again. PWR is honored to welcome a new member to the PrimeTime broadcast team who will guide us on the road to WrestleMania. Please join us in welcoming former WCW, TNA, and WWE champion, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, to the Pro Wrestling Report broadcast team. Nash will be joining PWR hosts Damian Nelson and David Hero in studio starting Saturday, March 16th, and will appear every week leading up to WrestleMania 29. PWR and Kevin Nash. It simply does not get any better.
Oh, man, I gotta go out tonight. What should I wear? Crap. Oh, my goodness. I don't think I haven't scored with this on yet. The old Super Friends. The old backup plan. Yep. Maybe make it a gun shirt. Oh, hey. Hi, I'm Kevin Nash. You're watching PWR on Milwaukee's 24. How do I look? Super.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report. Primetime Saturday night. Mean Gene Okerlund, David Hero. I still can't get over how great he was and is.
He's fantastic. He's legendary, and you took way too much of his time. Way too much.
Anyways,
well, how do you become his good time, long, close personal friend?
Here
I'm
in
a sidekick.
Studio 3, ladies and gentlemen, Damian Nelson along with David Hero. Time for Be the Booker. On Wednesday's show, we talked about Lockdown, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view. We also, earlier in this episode, talked to Christopher Daniels, who's one half of Bad Influence, who you think will win, or you would have win, come this Sunday and win the Tag Team Championship belts. The other matches we talked about on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, Rob Terry would defeat Robbie E. if David Hero were booking this. Kurt Angle would win in a cage match against Wes Briscoe. Velvet Sky would defeat Gail Kim. And Aces and Eights, due to some shenanigans, would defeat Team Sting. And we learned a little bit more this past Thursday night on Impact.
And this pay-per-view is being booked for me because of Chicago, Illinois. Because now it's going to get all the hot new storylines, all the futures in front of a hot new crowd in Chicago, which leads us to our big world title main event match. Bully Ray, the #1 contender, against Jeff Hardy inside a steel cage.
Jeff Hardy, of course, a member of the Nelson family, and his opponent, as you said, David Hero, Bully Ray. These two men, we talked about how they deserve to be in this matchup. Well, this match happens this Sunday in San Antonio at the Alamodome.
Who would have thought Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy would be headlining a pay-per-view on TNA Impact Wrestling? It's here. It's tomorrow night for the biggest prize in all of TNA Impact Wrestling. That's why I have to go, without a shadow of a doubt, the guy they've been building, Bully Ray.
New champ.
By hook or by crook, maybe with the help of Aces and Eights.
Brooke.
Nonsense. Brooke Hogan. Jeff Hardy does not leave San Antonio the champion. Bully Ray becomes the new face of TNA Impact Wrestling.
Wow. That's bold.
How can you not see it? The way the storyline's progressed, the way he's now married to Hogan's daughter, everything else. He has the trust of everybody, and now it's time to cut off that hand and be Bully Ray.
Do the Aces and Eights, though, get involved in this matchup?
I think somehow they do, because Bully Ray's not going to beat Jeff Hardy clean.
Where are we going next beyond Chicago?
Well, you got to figure this guy here is going to beat Wes Briscoe.
Kurt Angle.
I could see Kurt Angle then going into a program with Bully Ray for the world title.
Kurt Angle may not survive that. Just because he will give his all, and Bully Ray's a tough cookie.
You know, very well. And whoever screws over Jeff Hardy, that's who he's going to chase.
Interesting. This should be a great pay-per-view this Sunday, TNA Lockdown on pay-per-view from San Antonio, Texas in the Alamo Dome. It's going to be a hot, active crowd there. Of course, a lot of you participating in TNA fan interaction and the TNA experience going on all weekend long. And we'd like to thank Christopher Daniels for joining us here on this broadcast. And want to remind you, as you saw just before us, next week, David Hero. Big 15th anniversary broadcast of the Pro Wrestling Report.
Yes.
And we're celebrating with our guest co-host who will join us for a 4-week stint.
You better get a
leading
bigger
us
desk.
And taking us on the road to WrestleMania 29. Former WWE champion, former TNA champion, former WCW champion.
All those accolades, you better get a far sweeter looking studio. Because it has to be too sweet in there.
We'll see what we can do. But that is Big Sexy Kevin Nash joining us next Saturday night and every week leading into WrestleMania 29. Christopher Daniels tonight, Mean Gene Okerlund last week. What a roll. What a roll. We'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen, for that one. This is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see all of you in Milwaukee tomorrow night at the Bradley Center for Cody Rhodes' big matchup. And then we'll see everyone else come Monday for the
and Thursday in
PWR
Chicago.
Live. Absolutely. So this Saturday night, it's the biggest show in PWR history as we celebrate our 15-year anniversary on television in Milwaukee with an all-new look and our new host, Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Don't miss PWR Primetime Saturday night for our 15-year celebration. And don't forget, subscribe now so that you never miss an episode of the Pro Wrestling Report. 15 years in celebration this Saturday on Primetime with Big Sexy Kevin Nash.